Gopinathan Nair ji, All India Chairman, Gandhi Smarak Samiti, who was organizing secretary of this organizing committee chairman of the convention, delivered his inaugural speech. Sri Kailasanathan Pillai, working chairman of the reception committee, who spoke ahead of me, and other respected dignitaries, leaders, associate organizations, representatives, and co-workers who are on the dais, and the delegates who have come from different parts of the country to this place, this bharghav.He. It is a very peculiar and a very original and a very important place in the culture, history, traditions, values of India. You know, Swadeshi Jagran is the only platform where people feel shy of talking in English. Everywhere else it is a pride to speak in English. He spoke good English. That's a matter of pride. But स्वदेशी जागरण मंच का मंच में ये संकोच आता है, मैं अंग्रेजी में बोल रहा हूँ, माफ कीजिए, ये फर्क है. स्वदेशी जागरण मंच और दूसरा संस्थाएं जो है उसमें ये फर्क है. ये अंग्रेजी में हम बोल रहे हैं इसीलिए हमारा जो थॉट्स है वो ठीक से कम्युनिकेट हो, इसलिए हम अंग्रेजी में बोल रहे हैं. बहुत सारे मंच पे अंग्रेजी में बोलना ए मैटर ऑफ प्राइड है. इसलिए गोपीनाथन नायर जी ने जो कहा उसका टूटी फूटी हिंदी में वो बात करते थे, भाषण देते थे देश भर 15-20 साल पहले. अभी तो उसका कंटिन्यूटी नहीं है, इसलिए अंग्रेजी में वो बोले थे. हम तीनों स्पीकर्स अंग्रेजी में ही भाषण देंगे. बाद में आपको हिंदी में प्रवाह आएगा जब अरुण ओझा जी इधर भाषण देंगे. Swadeshi Jagran Manch was founded in 1991. We have a 20-year history now. 20-year point is a high vantage point from which we can look at what happened in the last 20 years. When the Swadeshi Jagran Manch was founded under the leadership of the Topantengri ji, there was chaos not only in India but in the whole world. The whole world was divided between two poles: the market capitalist economic model and the socialist economic model. These two were the opposing poles. Suddenly one pole disappeared and there was wholesale defection to the market capitalist model, as if there was no other way. The world helplessly adopted the market capitalist model. And there was no protest in India on rational grounds. There was protest, but there was no protest on why the market capitalist model is not suitable for India and maybe even for the world. Because the communist protest had virtually ideologically died down. Because the communist parties, communist countries, communist thinkers, communist economists themselves defected to the other side. In fact, China defected 10 years earlier. Russia defected in 1989-90. China defected in 1978. So the whole world was looking as the West, so that the rest of the world will have to follow the West. This was the one-way street, one way. In this, the Swadeshi Jagran stood up to say that this single-dimensional approach is harmful to India, which is 1/6 of humanity. It is not a small country. It is not a country like Singapore, which you can cycle across in 5 hours. It is not a Hong Kong, which you can motor across in 1 hour. It is 3 times the size of Europe, 4 times the size of America, 15 times the size of Japan. So for this country, no country is a model. We need to generate our own thinking, our own intellect, our own economics, our own politics, as Gopinath and Nayak said. We need to develop our own intellectualism. This was the profound thought, the message, the campaign which the Swadeshi Jagran undertook at that time. Now we have 20 years of history in which we can recapture what happened in this 20-year period. We were told in 1991-92 that this country cannot develop without foreign investment. And we need $400 billion for our infrastructure. We don't have that money. So we need foreigners. We need foreign money, we need foreign technology, we need foreign machinery, and we need foreign models. We need foreign methods. So this was the campaign. Then we undertook a counter campaign. We were called anti-nationals. In fact, when I was addressing a large meeting of highly educated people, academics, economists, professors, businessmen, executives in Administrative Staff College of India in Hyderabad, large gathering of over 1,000 people, and I was putting the counterpoint that the current assumption, the current model, the current thought, the current argument, the current policies which point to India's remedy being in foreign investment, foreign trade, is wrong. India has its own great potential, which I will deal with in another 5 minutes. At that time I was talking about the potential of India as we saw it. Today we are going to talk about the potential of India as we have experienced. There is a difference. When I was talking at that time, one professor stood up and said, people like you must be shot dead because you was taking the country 500 years back. This was the kind of objection, resistance, criticism the Swadeshi Jagran faced. Now we have 20 years of experience. And take the first example, that foreign investment alone can develop India. We have 20 years statistics today, from 1991 to 2011. And we were told in 1991, 92, 93, when we used to have discussions with economists, professors, policy makers, they used to tell us that India can generate savings only for investment up to 24% of our GDP. GDP means the total income of the country, in which we can generate only 24% as our investment and savings. And there is a rule of economics which says that if you invest 4 rupees, your GDP will grow by 1 rupee. This is capital output ratio. So if you invest 24%, you can grow only at 6%. You have to raise the 32%, then only you can grow 8%. We cannot increase our investment to 32% because we have no money, and so we need this 8% investment from outside India. This was the justification given by all the great thinkers, economic thinkers, policy makers, media. And see what happened. In the last 20 years, if you take the statistics about the total investment made in India, 98.8% of the investment in India has been made by Indian savings, through Indian savings. Only 1.2% has come from outside. The Indian savings rate went up. Then the Indian economy began to grow. So our own savings was adequate. Our savings went up from 23% of the GDP in 1992-93 to 37% of the GDP in 2009. Our investment went up from 24% to almost 40%. That is why we could reach a growth rate of almost 10%. Many Indian thinkers, economists, media have not been able to understand the meaning of it. The foreigners understood the meaning of it. India is the only country which grew so much without substantial foreign investment. This is something new to the world. Korea could not do it, Taiwan could not do it, Malaysia could not do it, Indonesia could not do it, even China could not do it. Only India could post such a big growth without or with very little foreign investment. And the world was shaken by this new model. And Shankaracharya, who was the advisor to the government of India in 2007-2008, he wrote an article in 2009 that this is something surprising, that India has developed with very little foreign investment. And this is what we said in 1991-92, that India cannot be developed by foreign investment. Because this country is so huge, and there is no country which can make that kind of investment in India. Because if you look at America, America doesn't have its own money. It borrows money from the rest of the world. And you want the borrower to invest money into your country. England is borrowing. Every country in the Western country except Germany, Italy, partly France, all other countries are borrowing and living. And how can a borrower invest into your economy? So, the basic theory that by foreign investment only India can grow has been completely demolished in the last 20 years. And Swadeshi Jagran was the only think tank in India which could say that Indian potential to save and invest is so high. We don't need any investment from outside India. And this is not something which the Swadeshi Jagran is saying today. In the year 2010 October, the Goldman Sachs, which is the biggest investment bank in the world, they came out with a report, and the title of the report is the Global Economic Paper number 187. It was dated October 2010. In that paper, Goldman Sachs said that we thought the Indian infrastructure requirement would be $400 billion. Then we thought it would be $900 billion. Then we thought it would be $1.3 trillion. Now we think it will be $1.7 trillion. Huge money required for developing infrastructure of India. And the Goldman Sachs said For this huge investment, India does not need even $1 from outside. All the money that is required for India's investment will be supplied by the Indian families. This is the most important. I will come to later. Mr. Gopinathan Nair mentioned that the culture of India, the traditions of India, the value systems of India have to be preserved. These are not good things. These are necessary things for development. These are not valuable things to be praised. These are necessary things for the life and economy of India. This is what I am going to say. So India has established one great point in which Goldman Sachs, I don't want to go in detail into the paper, what they said is that the Indian families will be able to save so much that savings to GDP ratio in India will be, which is now 32-33%, will go up to 40% of the GDP by 2016 and remain like this till 2026. The annual savings of Indian families will be $800 billion, which is equal to all the bank advances today. That is the extent of savings Goldman Sachs had predicted. They shut the mouth of the people who said India could be developed only with foreign investment. The Swadeshi Jagran Manch could visualize this, envision this, project this as the model for development. How? Why? The Indian economic thinkers, policy makers, the media, the intellectuals thought in one way. And the Swadeshi Jagran Manch thought differently. I am going to tell you in 5 minutes. A wrong mindset has been generated in India for the last 150 years. There are sources for this wrong mindset. You know, Kerala is a land which welcomed Karl Marx ideology. I don't know whether they regret it or not. They welcomed the Karl Marx ideology. Karl Marx wrote the Das Kapital book in 1857. But 4 years before that, he wrote 2 articles on India. In New York Herald Tribune, which is now called the International Herald Tribune, he wrote 2 articles on India. In the book he wrote, India is a very peculiar country. It has some kind of a central government which looks after the waterways, it looks after the rivers, it looks after the roadways, it looks after the transfer of people from one end to the other, it looks after the law and order. But the economy of India is not national economy, it is based on villages. Every village is self-sufficient. It doesn't need anything from any other village. He said this is a very peculiar system. And this has remained unchanged for 2000 years. Not 1 or 2 years. Not 1 or 200 years. For 2000 years. And so when the economy is village based, there was no economic exploitation. There could be other exploitation. Because the human beings are always ingenious in finding ways of exploiting others by status, by color, by education, by intellect. You can exploit others by many means. Economic exploitation was not there. Because the economic power was so decentralized, as Gopinathan Nair said. Centralization leads to domination and exploitation. So we avoided centralization. And so Karl Marx praised this. But he said the problem with India is they are worshipping monkeys. They are worshipping cows. And so they are semi-barbaric. See their assessment. It is not lack of economic disparity which mattered. Nothing mattered. The disqualification was that you were worshipping monkeys and cows. India. He never met any Indian. He never read any Indian ancient literature. He only studied the colonial dispatches from India. On that basis, he judged India as a country of monkey worshippers and cow worshippers and so semi-barbaric. Any other country would have ignored that thinker. But in India, he became one of the most influential thinkers. And he dominated his thought, dominated the academia, intellectuals, political parties, universities, public discourse. For the last 100 years, Karl Marx domination of the Indian intellect, the Indian mind was very high. Another person was on Max Weber. Max Weber is supposed to be the father of modern West. Now, my predecessor speaker spoke about families. Max Weber's sociology, which is founded on what is known as methodological individualism, says man is superior to family. Man need not respect his parents, need not respect the teachers, need not respect the elders. Man is supreme. This is called methodological individualism. This is the foundation of the modern West. This is the foundation of modern Western capitalism. Capitalism is not just a matter of market. It is a matter of man's attitude. There is nothing reverable in Western civilization. No respect or reverence for parents, for teachers, for elders, for God, for nature. Only individuals. People like Karl Popper defined it even worse. I am not getting into a sociology class. Simple point we have to make is Max Weber studied the Christian societies, the Protestant Christian society and the Catholic Christian society, and said, look at the Protestant Christian societies which have promoted individualism. And because of individualism, they have been able to generate entrepreneurship, enterprise. And because of that, capitalism has grown. See the Catholic societies, they have not been able to do it. It is true. On a study of the economic development of Catholic societies and Protestant societies, the Protestant societies have gone up in economic development and Catholic societies have come down or stagnated. He was right. There was nothing wrong because he studied America, he studied Germany, he studied France, he studied England, he studied Spain. He was right because he made a study. But after 20 years of his study, in 1897 he came out with his study. After 20 years he came out with a book, The Religion of Hinduism and Buddhism. In that book he wrote, all societies can come up. Two societies can never come up in economic development, the Hindu society and Buddhist society, because they believe in karma and rebirth. If you believe in karma and rebirth, you have no individual freedom, you have no enterprise. You believe in fate. And so these two societies can never come up. The man never came to India. He never met any Indian. He never spoke to any Indian thinker, intellectual, spiritualist. But he concluded about Indian civilization, Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian religion, Indian people. And you know, there are scientific studies which shows that these two thinkers influenced the Indian academia, universities, textbooks, public discourse, policy makers. These two were the greatest influence on India and they continue to influence the Indian thinker. This is what made Indians feel we can't do anything. We are incapable of doing And this was followed by people like Churchill. People in India quote Churchill because of his English. The man called him semi-barbaric. In 1931, he said Indians are semi-barbaric. This is how the Westerners made the English-educated Indians to feel. They are knowing. This is weighing on all our thinkers, policymakers, economists, leaders, public writers, that we can't do anything. And this is not something which was confined to India. In the year 1951, the United Nations adopted a policy statement. How underdeveloped nations can develop. They told the underdeveloped nations, you cannot develop unless you give up your culture, your way of life, and world freedom. This is United Nations Department of Social and Economic Affairs. Measures for economic development of underdeveloped countries, 1951. Immediately after the World War was over, when the Western world was formulating the development plan for the entire world, including the underdeveloped nations, this policy statement is given. There is a sense in which rapid economic progress is impossible without painful adjustments. That is, unless you undertake painful adjustments, you cannot make rapid economic progress. What is that painful adjustment? Ancient philosophies have to be scrapped. Ancient philosophy means you have to forget Shankara. You have to disown Ramanuja. You have to declare Madhua. You have to make Gandhi irrelevant. Ancient philosophies have to be scrapped. Old social institutions have to disintegrate, including the family. I will come to it later. Bonds of caste, creed and race have to burst. And large number of those who cannot keep up with progress of this kind have to have their expectations of a comfortable life frustrated. You can never have a comfortable life unless you give up your traditions, your values, your culture, your whole past. You know, this is called the anthropological modernity of the West. So market economics is not just economics, it has nothing to do with just finance. It calls for a total change in the personality of not only the man, but the society, the nation. So this is the pressure on the Indian thinkers, the Indian intellectuals. That unless you cease to be Indian in every sense of the term, you can never develop. This is the English-educated intellectualism of India in the field of sociology, in the field of culture, in the field of anthropology, in the field of history, in the field of economics. This is what the Swadeshi Jagran manch resisted. It is not merely whether you should buy a toothpaste produced by Colgate or it should be some toothpaste produced by some local manufacturer. The issue is not so simple. The issue was a much bigger issue. Whether you can develop with your lifestyle, with your culture, with your whole approach to life intact, or you have to discard all this and then only progress. This is what the West told us. This they told us in 1951. When globalization took over, it was a tsunami. Nobody could speak against it. Nobody could resist it. It is at that time the Swadeshi Jagran manch ideologically resisted this. And today it is proved to be correct. I am going to tell you in the next 5 minutes as to how this entire discourse was continued in the post-independence period. I will relate my experience in the IIT Bombay in 2010 December. I had been called to deliver a lecture in IIT Bombay in 2010 by the Management Institute of IIT Bombay. Ahead of me spoke a great industrialist by name Godrej. He said that India never knew what was prosperity. We knew about God, but we did not know about economics. And so because of that, there was hunger, there was poverty, there was illiteracy, there was deprivation in this country. Only because of globalization we began growing, and we only know prosperity now. Before that we never knew prosperity. The entire IIT, after he completed the speech, the professors, the research scholars, the students, the faculty, the observers, they all stood up and clapped. I was to speak next. You know, after usually praising a previous speaker, I said, I have to differ from my previous speaker, not because I want to differ, because I have to differ. Because the facts which he is not aware, I am going to tell you. Then I began speaking. I said that what Mr. Godrej spoke was true 30 years back, not now. In the year 1978, and he also, Adi Godrej quoted the term Hindu growth rate. He was asked in Professor Raj Krishna was asked in 1978. He was an economist. He advised the government of India. He was a socialist thinker. So he was asked, Mr. Raj Krishna, we are following the same socialist policy. Russia is following, Poland is following, Hungary is following, Yugoslavia is following, but they are all growing faster. The same policies we are following. You are an advisor of the government of India. But why is it that we are not following so far, growing so fast? To which I don't know why, whether he said in banter or he wanted to escape that question. He said, क्या करेंगे? ये तो Hindu rate of growth है. The problem was not with socialism, the problem was with the Hindus. This was the very profane, unthought, unresearched, very street-like remark which Professor Raj Krishna made. Hero Robert McNamara, who was the president of the World Bank, picked up this remark. And in at least 10, 12 world conferences, he said an Indian economist has said India can never grow because of its Hindu culture. And so we have to give aid to India, please. He went on begging before the whole world because Indians cannot grow. That is how this Hindu rate of growth, India cannot grow. Even 2 years back, the Planning Commission Vice Chairman, Manch Singh Ahluwalia said, Hindu rate of growth. This happened in 1978. In 1983, something stunning happens in the world. What Paul Bharghav, a Belgian economist, came out with a study of the world economy between 1750 and 1900. 150 years he researched in the world economy and came out with figures which stunned the world. He said in 1750, if you tabulate the economic growth of India, world, China was leading the world with 34% of world GDP. India was next with 24.5% of world GDP. And America and England put together just 2% of world GDP in 1750. And in 1900, the whole thing turns upside down. India and China together become 8%. China 6.2% from 34%. India 1.8% from 24.5%. America and England put together from 2% to 41%. The whole world turns upside down. He shook the rest. Historians like Ferdinand Braudel began saying, if this is true, India and China had much better standard of living in the 17th and 18th centuries than the Western countries. The rest could not bear this. So they constituted a study, Development Studies Institute under Angus Madison, the greatest economic thinker ever produced. This was done by the OECD countries, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. 26 rich and powerful countries constituted this study and said, Angus Madison will study and find out whether what Paul Bhairov was said is correct or not. And in fact, Angus Madison said, if what Paul Bhairov says is correct, West did not develop because of any scientific precocity or slow accumulation of wealth or financial genius. If what Paul Bhairov says is correct, West grew only because of colonial domination. But I don't think it is correct. This is how he started the research. He came out with his findings in 2001, not 150 years, 2000 years of economic history of the world, and that is called World Economic History, a Millennial Perspective. This book came in 2001. And in that book he said, in the first year of the common year, the year in which Jesus Christ is believed to have been born, 2000 years back, India was leading the world with 34%, 36% of world's growth. 36%. China 28%. Most Western countries were not in the picture, they were not in the scoreboard. India 1000. Same thing continues. India first, China next. 1400. India first, China next. 1500. India and China equal. 1600. China overtakes India. 1700. India overtakes China. The game was only between these two countries. And Max Weber said these two countries can never progress economic terms because they follow Hinduism and Buddhism. What a false theory. And we believed the theory. We taught the theory. We were convinced by the theory. And so we said we can never grow. When I mentioned this in the IIT, after I complete, of course, I said many more things which I don't want to share here. At the end of the meeting, all the students, professors, everybody came to me and surrounded me. Sir, these buildings can be demolished and thrown away. If these high educational institutions are not going to teach us fundamental things, we don't need these institutions. That speech is available in YouTube. It's a 1 hour and 20-minute speech, at the end of which all the professors and lecturers came to me and asked me, Sir, please don't stop with this one speech. Please run a course for us every year. From that year onwards, for 3 months I am running a course for them, which again this year also I am beginning in February 24th. This is the knowledge of high educational institutions like IIT, educated professors, the media, intellectuals, the economists, the policymakers. They don't know. Swadeshi Jagran knew the potentiality of India. That is how he could say that India is a winner. Why is a winner? I am going to say now. You know, the world has been destroyed. The Western world is destroyed. Many people look at the buildings, they look at the roads, they look at the aircrafts. America is having 2 lakh aircrafts flying here and there. So everybody is shocked by the kind of external show. But look at America internally. The American families are destroyed. 55% of the first marriages end in divorce. 67% of the second marriages end in divorce. If somebody had the tenacity to marry, 74% of the third marriages end in divorce. 40% 41% of the babies born are born for unwed mothers. People who are not married have become mothers. 41% of the babies in America, 47% of the babies in England, 56% of the babies in Sweden, Norway. These are supposed to be very high on human development. This is the country towards which we should move in human development. And this is not cultural degeneration, economic degeneration also. You know why we save? Why India saves so much? Why China saves so much? Why Korea saves so much? Why Asia saves so much? The world total savings, Asian contribution is 75%. Why? It is because we have a family system. Family means responsibility. Responsibility means savings. Responsibility means less spending. But in America there is no family today. So the care of elders, informed people, unemployed people, you see the family looks after here. You take care of your parents. You take care of your informed people. You take care of unemployed children. This is not the case in America. There is no family to take care of them. And so these responsibilities are passed on to the government. So I say, in America, families have been nationalized. And government is being privatized. Roads, bridges, water supply, municipal supply, these are all for thousands of years the responsibilities of kings and governments. They are being privatized. Taking care of parents, taking care of unemployed people, taking care of unhealthy people, informed people, which for thousands of years has been the responsibility of the family. That has been nationalized. Because the family has no responsibility, family savings have crashed. From 80% of the total savings, the American family savings in 1960, in the year 2006, the family savings were negative 20%. That means the families were spending more than what they were earning. To make that spending easy, they gave credit cards. You know, 11 crore American families have 120 crore credit cards. And they have a debt of 150 lakh crores on credit cards. Their car is in debt, their home is in debt, their groceries are bought on debt. With the result, American savings being nil, American government is borrowing outside for its day-to-day survival. The picture is the reverse in India. This is the swadeshi jagran which said that family is at the core of India's economy. And why the Indian families are able to save? It is because of the Indian women. I will quote what happened in 1993-94 when Dr. Manmohan Singh, who is the Prime Minister today, was the Finance Minister. He had brought one advisor by name Dr. Bharghav.He. He was a great economist, and he was the one who formulated the WTO, and he was called the God of Free Trade. When he came to India, Dr. Manmohan Singh asked him, "We are in a mess. Please tell us how can we come out of this mess." So Dr. Jagdish gave a 72-page paper in which 3 pages he dealt with about the Indian families and particularly about the Indian women. He said that in India the biggest problem is the Indian families are saving more than what they should be doing. They are saving 19% of the GDP, and their saving should be brought down to 9 to 10%. And so the balance should become expenditure. Once the families begin spending, it will become sales, it will become production, it will become employment. Otherwise, nobody can stop India if the families starts spending rather than saving. So the government of India, and he also said the Indian families will not spend unless the Indian women are taught how to spend. They are very, very miserly, and so you must teach the Indian women how to spend. For that purpose, you must bring goods from abroad, jewelry, clothing, all kinds of cosmetic and beauty items and make the Indian women lose their responsibility and overcome by desire, they must begin buying goods. Once you teach the Indian women how to spend, then nobody can stop the growth of India. The Indian government began doing this in a big way. And advertisements, the media was very happy. And I was part of the media. The media was also supporting all this. And there were songs in the television to sell the goods. The Indian women sang the songs but did not buy the goods. That is why our family savings went up from 19% of the GDP to 29% of the GDP. It is the families which are at the core of the Indian economy. And women are at the center of the Indian economy. Actually, the Indian economy has a feminine character. This is the finding of the swadeshi jagran. So any government in India, whichever government comes to power, ought to understand that India cannot be developed from outside. There is enough potentiality, strength, discipline, culture, character in India. Domestic production, domestic consumption, domestic savings, domestic capital formation, domestic market. This is what drives India. Any government in India hopefully will realize this, including any government that is going to come to power. And the swadeshi government will continue to carry on this ideological campaign and ensure that whatever government that comes to power sees this truth. Thank you. For development, how? Why the Indian economic thinkers, policy makers, the media, the intellectuals thought in one way, and the swadeshi government thought differently. I am going to tell you in 5 minutes. A wrong mindset has been generated in India for the last 150 years. There are sources for this wrong mindset. You know, Kerala is a land which welcomed the Karl Marx ideology. I don't know whether they regret it or not. They welcomed the Karl Marx ideology. Karl Marx wrote the Das Kapital book in 1857. But 4 years before that, he wrote 2 articles on India. In New York Herald Tribune, which is now called the International Herald Tribune, he wrote 2 articles on India. In the book he wrote, India is a very peculiar country. It has some kind of a central government which looks after the waterways, it looks after the rivers, it looks after the roadways, it looks after the transfer of people from one end to the other, it looks after the law and order. But the economy of India is not national economy, it is based on villages. Every village is self-sufficient. It doesn't need anything from any other village. He said this is a very peculiar system. And this has remained unchanged for 2000 years. Not 1 or 2 years. Not 1 or 200 years. For 2000 years. And so when the economy is village based, there was no economic exploitation. There could be other exploitation. Because the human beings are always ingenious in finding ways of exploiting others. By status, by color, by education, by intellect. You can exploit others by many means. Economic exploitation was not there. Because the economic power was so decentralized, as Gopinath and I have said. Centralization leads to domination and exploitation. So we avoided centralization. And so Karl Marx praised this. But he said the problem with India is they are worshipping monkeys. They are worshipping cows. And so they are semi-barbaric. See their assessment. It is not lack of economic disparity which mattered. Nothing mattered. The disqualification was that you were worshipping monkeys and cows. He never came to India. He never met any Indian. He never read any Indian ancient literature. He only studied the colonial dispatches from India. On that basis, he judged India as a country of monkey worshippers and cow worshippers and so semi-barbaric. Any other country would have ignored that thinker. But in India, he became one of the most influential thinkers. And he dominated his thought, dominated the academia, intellectuals, political parties, universities, public discourse. For the last 100 years, Karl Marx domination of the Indian intellect, the Indian mind was very high. Another person was on Max Weber. Max Weber is supposed to be the father of modern West. Now, my predecessor speaker spoke about families. Max Weber's sociology, which is founded on what is known as methodological individualism, says man is superior to family. Man need not respect his parents, need not respect the teachers, need not respect the elders. Man is supreme. This is called methodological individualism. This is the foundation of the modern West. This is the foundation of modern Western capitalism. Capitalism is not just a matter of market. It is a matter of man's attitude. There is nothing revealable in Western civilization. No respect or reverence for parents, for teachers, for elders, for God, for nature. Only individuals. People like Karl Popper defined it even worse. I am not getting into a sociology class. Simple point we have to make is Max Weber studied the Christian societies, the Protestant Christian society and the Catholic Christian society, and said, look at the Protestant Christian societies which have promoted individualism. And because of individualism, they have been able to generate entrepreneurship, enterprise. And because of that, capitalism has grown. See the Catholic societies, they have not been able to do it. It is true. On a study of the economic development of Catholic societies and Protestant societies, the Protestant societies have gone up in economic development and Catholic societies have come down or stagnated. He was right. There was nothing wrong because he studied America, he studied Germany, he studied France, he studied England, he studied Spain. He was right because he made a study. But after 20 years of his study, in 1897 he came out with his study. After 20 years he came out with a book, The Religion of Hinduism and Buddhism. In that book he wrote, all societies can come up. Two societies can never come up in economic development, the Hindu society and Buddhist society, because they believe in karma and rebirth. If you believe in karma and rebirth, you have no individual freedom, you have no enterprise. You believe in fate. And so these two societies can never come up. The man never came to India. He never met any Indian. He never spoke to any Indian thinker, intellectual, spiritualist. But he concluded about the Indian civilization, Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian religion, Indian people. And there are scientific studies which shows that these two thinkers influenced the Indian academia, universities, textbooks, public discourse, policy makers. These two were the greatest influence on India and they continue to influence the Indian thinker. This is what made Indians feel we can't do anything. We are incapable of doing anything. And this was followed by people like Churchill. People in India quote Churchill because of his English. The man called him semi-barbaric. In 1930, Singh Ahluwalia said, Hindu rate of growth. This happened in 1978. In 1983, something stunning happens in the world. What Paul Bharghav, a Belgian economist, came out with a study of the world economy between 1750 and 1900. 150 years he researched in the world economy and came out with figures which stunned the world. He said in 1750, if you tabulate the economic growth of India, world, China was leading the world with 34% of world GDP. India was next with 24.5% of world GDP. And America and England put together just 2% of world GDP in 1750. And in 1900, the whole thing turns upside down. India and China together become 8%. China 6.2% from 34%. India 1.8% from 24.5%. America and England put together from 2% to 41%. The whole world turns upside down. It shook the rest. Historians like Ferdinand Braudel began saying, if this is true, India and China had much better standard of living in the 17th and 18th centuries than the Western countries. The West could not bear this. So they constituted a study, Development Studies Institute under Angus Madison, the greatest economic thinker ever produced. This was done by the OECD countries, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. 26 rich and powerful countries constituted this study and said, Angus Madison will study and find out whether what Paul Bharghav was said is correct or not. And in fact, Angus Madison said, if what Paul Bharghav says is correct, West did not develop because of any scientific precocity or slow accumulation of wealth or financial genius. If what Paul Bharghav says is correct, West grew only because of colonial domination. But I don't think it is correct. This is how he started the research. He came out with his findings in 2001, not 150 years, 2000 years of economic history of the world, and that is called World Economic History, a Millennial Perspective. This book came in 2001. And in that book he said, in the first year of the common year, the year in which Jesus Christ is believed to have been born, 2000 years back, India was leading the world with 34%, 36% of world's growth. 36%. China 28%. Most Western countries were not in the picture, they were not in the scoreboard. India 1000. Same thing continues. India first, China next. 1400. India first, China next. 1500. India and China equal. 1600. China overtakes India. 1700. India overtakes China. The game was only between these two countries. And Max Weber said these two countries can never progress economic terms because they follow Hinduism and Buddhism. What a false theory. And we believe in the theory. We taught the theory. We were convinced by the theory. And so we said we can never grow. When I mentioned this in the IIT, after I complete, of course, I said many more things which I don't want to share here. At the end of the meeting, all the students, professors, everybody came to me and surrounded me. Sir, these buildings can be demolished and thrown away. If these high educational institutions are not going to teach us fundamental things, we don't need these institutions. That speech is available in YouTube. It's a 1 hour and 20-minute speech, at the end of which all the professors and lecturers came to me and asked me, "Sir, please don't stop with this one speech. Please run a course for us every year." From that year onwards, for 3 months I am running a course for them, which again this year also I am beginning in February 24th. This is the knowledge of high educational institutions like IIT, educated professors, the media, the intellectuals, the economists, the policymakers. They don't know. Swadeshi Jagran Manch knew the potentiality of India. That is how it could say that India is a winner. Why is a winner? I am going to say now. You know, the world has been destroyed. The Western world is destroyed. Many people look at the buildings, they look at the roads, they look at the aircrafts. America is having 2 lakh aircrafts flying here and there. So everybody is shocked by the kind of external show. But look at America internally. The American families are destroyed. 55% of the first marriages end in divorce. 67% of the second marriages end in divorce. If somebody had the tenacity to marry, 74% of the third marriages end in divorce. 41% of the babies born are born for unwed mothers. People who are not married have become mothers. 41% of the babies in America, 47% of the babies in England, 56% of the babies in Sweden, Norway. These are supposed to be very high on human development. This is the country towards which we should move in human development. And this is not cultural degeneration, economic degeneration also. You know why we save? Why India saves so much? Why China saves so much? Why Korea saves so much? Why Asia saves so much? The world total savings, Asian contribution is 75%. Why? It is because we have a family system. Family means responsibility. Responsibility means savings. Responsibility means less spending. But in America there is no family today. So we care of elders, informed people, unemployed people. You see, the family looks after here. You take care of your parents. You take care of your informed people. You take care of unemployed children. This is not the case in America. There is no family to take care of them. And so these responsibilities are passed on to the government. So I say, in America, families have been nationalized. And government is being privatized. Roads, bridges, water supply, municipal supply, these are all for thousands of years the responsibilities of kings and governments. They are being privatized. Taking care of parents, taking care of unemployed people, taking care of unhealthy people, informed people, which for thousands of years has been the responsibility of the family. That has been nationalized. Because one professor stood up and said, people like you must be shot dead because he was taking the country 500 years back. This was the kind of objection, resistance, criticism the Swadeshi Jagran Manch faced. Now we have 20 years of experience. And take the first example that foreign investment alone can develop India. We have 20 years statistics today from 1991 to 2011. And we were told in 1991, 92, 93, when we used to have discussions with economists, professors, policy makers, they used to tell us that India can generate savings only for investment up to 24% of our GDP. GDP means the total income of the country, in which we can generate only 24% as our investment and savings. And There is a rule of economics, it says that if you invest 4 rupees, your GDP will grow by 1 rupee. This is capital output ratio. So if you invest 24%, you can grow only at 6%. You have to raise the investment to 32%. Then only you can grow 8%. We cannot increase our investment to 32% because we have no money, and so we need this 8% investment from outside India. This was the justification given by all the great thinkers, economic thinkers, policy makers, media. And see what happened. In the last 20 years, if you take the statistics about the total investment made in India, 98.8% of the investment in India has been made by Indian savings, through Indian savings. Only 1.2% has come from outside. The Indian savings rate went up. Then the Indian economy began to grow. So our own savings was adequate. Our savings went up from 23% of the GDP in 1992-93 to 37% of the GDP in 2009. Our investment went up from 24% to almost 40%. That is why we could reach a growth rate of almost 10%. Many Indian thinkers, economists, media have not been able to understand the meaning of it. The foreigners understood the meaning of it. India is the only country which grew so much without substantial foreign investment. This is something new to the world. Korea could not do it, Taiwan could not do it, Malaysia could not do it, Indonesia could not do it, even China could not do it. Only India could post such a big growth without or with very little foreign investment. And the world was shaken by this new model. And Shankaracharya, who was the advisor to the government of India in 2007-2008, he wrote an article in 2009 that this is something surprising, that India has developed with very little foreign investment. And this is what we said in 1991-92, that India cannot be developed by foreign investment. Because this country is so huge, and there is no country which can make that kind of investment in India. Because if you look at America, America doesn't have its own money. It borrows money from the rest of the world. And you want the borrower to invest money into your country. England is borrowing. Every country in the Western country except Germany, Italy, partly France, all other countries are borrowing and living. And how can a borrower invest into your economy? So, the basic theory that by foreign investment only India can grow has been completely demolished in the last 20 years. And Swadeshi Jagran was the only think tank in India which could say that Indian potential to save and invest is so high. We don't need any investment from outside India. And this is not something which the Swadeshi Jagran is saying today. In the year 2010 October, the Goldman Sachs, which is the biggest investment bank in the world, they came out with a report, and the title of the report is the Global Economic Paper number 187. It was dated October 2010. In that paper, Goldman Sachs said that we thought the Indian infrastructure requirement could be $400 billion. Then we thought it would be $900 billion. Then we thought it would be $1.3 trillion. Now we think it will be $1.7 trillion. Huge money required for developing infrastructure of India. And the Goldman Sachs said, for this huge investment, India does not need even $1 from outside. All the money that is required for India's investment will be supplied by the Indian families. This is the most important. I will come to later. Mr. Gopinathan Nair mentioned that the culture of India, the traditions of India, the value systems of India have to be preserved. These are not good things. These are necessary things for development. These are not valuable things to be praised. These are necessary things for the life and economy of India. This is what I am going to say. So India has established one great point in which Goldman Sachs, I don't want to go in detail into the paper, what they said is that the Indian families will be able to save so much that savings to GDP ratio in India will be, which is now 32-33%, will go up to 40% of the GDP by 2016 and remain like this till 2026. The annual savings of Indian families will be $800 billion, which is equal to all the bank advances today. That is the extent of savings Goldman Sachs had predicted. They shut the mouth of the people who said India could be developed only with foreign investment. The Swadeshi Jagran Manch could visualize this, envision this, project this as the model. Gopinathan Nair ji, All India Chairman, Gandhi Smarak Samiti, who was organizing secretary of this organizing committee chairman of the convention, delivered his inaugural speech. Sri Kailasanathan Pillai, working chairman of the reception committee, who spoke ahead of me, and other respected dignitaries, leaders, associate organizations, representatives and co-workers who are on the dais, and the delegates who have come from different parts of the country to this place, this bharghav.He. This is a very peculiar and a very original and a very important place in the culture, history, traditions, values of India. You know, Swadeshi Jagran Manch is the only platform where people feel shy of talking in English. Everywhere else it is a pride to speak in English. He spoke good English. That's a matter of pride. But Swadeshi Jagran Manch का मंच में ये संकोच आता है. मैं अंग्रेजी में बोल रहा हूँ, माफ कीजिए. ये फर्क है. स्वदेशी जागरण मंच और दूसरा संस्थाएं जो है उसमें ये फर्क है. ये अंग्रेजी में हम बोल रहे हैं इसीलिए हमारा जो थॉट्स है वो ठीक से कम्युनिकेट हो, इसलिए हम अंग्रेजी में बोल रहे हैं. बहुत सारे मंच पे अंग्रेजी में बोलना a matter of pride है. इसलिए गोपीनाथन नायर जी ने जो कहा उसका टूटी फूटी हिंदी में वो बात करते थे, भाषण देते थे देश भर 15-20 साल पहले. अभी तो उसका कंटिन्यूटी नहीं है, इसलिए अंग्रेजी में वो बोले थे. हम तीनों स्पीकर्स अंग्रेजी में ही भाषण देंगे. बाद में आपको हिंदी में प्रवाह आएगा जब अरुण ओझा जी इधर भाषण देंगे. Swadeshi Jagran Manch was founded in 1991. We have a 20-year history now. 20-year point is a high vantage point from which we can look at what happened in the last 20 years. When the Swadeshi Jagran Manch was founded under the leadership of the He, there was chaos not only in India but in the whole world. The whole world was divided between two poles: the market capitalist economic model and the socialist economic model. These two were the opposing poles. Suddenly one pole disappeared and there was wholesale defection to the market capitalist model, as if there was no other way. The world helplessly adopted the market capitalist model. And there was no protest in India on rational grounds. There was protest, but there was no protest on why the market capitalist model is not suitable for India and maybe even for the world. Because the communist protest had virtually ideologically died down. Because the communist parties, communist countries, communist thinkers, communist economists themselves defected to the other side. In fact, China defected 10 years earlier. Russia defected in 1989-90. China defected in 1978. So the whole world was looking to the West as the West, so that the rest of the world will have to follow the West. This was the one-way street, one way, in which the Swadeshi Jagran Manch stood up to say that this single-dimensional approach is harmful to India, which is 1/6 of humanity. It is not a small country. It is not a country like Singapore, which you can cycle across in 5 hours. It is not a Hong Kong, which you can motor across in 1 hour. It is 3 times the size of Europe, 4 times the size of America, 15 times the size of Japan. So for this country, no country is a model. We need to generate our own thinking, our own intellect, our own economics, our own politics, as Gopinath and Nayakji said. We need to develop our own intellectualism. This was the profound thought, the message, the campaign which the Swadeshi Jagran Manch undertook at that time. Now we have 20 years of history in which we can recapture what happened in this 20-year period. We were told in 1991-92 that this country cannot develop without foreign investment. And we need $400 billion for our infrastructure. We don't have that money. So we need foreigners. We need foreign money, we need foreign technology, we need foreign machinery, and we need foreign models. We need foreign methods. So this was the campaign. Then we undertook a counter campaign. We were called anti-nationals. In fact, when I was addressing a large meeting of highly educated people, academics, economists, professors, businessmen, executives in Administrative Staff College of India in Hyderabad, large gathering of over 1,000 people, and I was putting the counterpoint that model, the current thought, the current argument, the current policies which point to India's remedy being in foreign investment, foreign trade, is wrong. India has its own great potential, which I will deal with in another 5 minutes. At that time I was talking about the potential of India as we saw it. Today we are going to talk about the potential of India as we have experienced. There is a difference. When I was talking at that time, he said Indians are semi-barbaric. This is how the Westerners made the English-educated Indians to feel. They are knowing. This is weighing on all our thinkers, policymakers, economists, leaders, public writers, that we can't do anything. And this is not something which was confined to India. In the year 1951, the United Nations adopted a policy statement. How underdeveloped nations can develop. They told the underdeveloped nations, you cannot develop unless you give up your culture, your way of life, and world freedom. This is United Nations Department of Social and Economic Affairs. Measures for economic development of underdeveloped countries, 1951. Immediately after the World War was over, when the Western world was formulating the development plan for the entire world, including the underdeveloped nations, this policy statement is given. There is a sense in which rapid economic progress is impossible without painful adjustments. That is, unless you undertake painful adjustments, you cannot make rapid economic progress. What is that painful adjustment? Ancient philosophies have to be scrapped. Ancient philosophy means you have to forget Shankara. You have to disown Ramanuja. You have to decry Madhva. You have to make Gandhi irrelevant. Ancient philosophies have to be scrapped. Old social institutions have to disintegrate, including the family. I will come to it later. Bonds of caste, creed and race have to burst. And large number of those who cannot keep up with progress of this kind have to have their expectations of a comfortable life frustrated. You can never have a comfortable life unless you give up your traditions, your values, your culture, your whole past. You know, this is called the anthropological modernity of the West. So market economics is not just economics, it has nothing to do with just finance. It calls for a total change in the personality of not only the man, but society, the nation. So this is the pressure on the Indian thinkers, the Indian intellectuals. That unless you cease to be Indian in every sense of the term, you can never develop. This is the English-educated intellectualism of India in the field of sociology, in the field of culture, in the field of anthropology, in the field of history, in the field of economics. This is what the swadeshi jagran manch system. It is not merely whether you should buy a toothpaste produced by Colgate or it should be some toothpaste produced by some local manufacturer. The issue is not so simple. The issue was a much bigger issue. Whether you can develop with your lifestyle, with your culture, with your whole approach of life intact, or you have to discard all this and then only progress. This is what the West told us. This they told us in 1951. When globalization took over, It was a tsunami. Nobody could speak against it. Nobody could resist it. It is at that time the Swadeshi Jagran manch ideologically resisted this. And today it is proved to be correct. I am going to tell you in the next 5 minutes as to how this entire discourse was continued in the post-independence period. I will relate my experience in the IIT Bombay in 2010 December. I had been called to deliver a lecture in IIT Bombay in 2010 by the Management Institute of IIT Bombay. Ahead of me spoke a great industrialist by name Godrej. He said that India never knew what was prosperity. We knew about God, but we did not know about economics. And so because of that there was hunger, there was poverty, there was illiteracy, there was deprivation in this country. Only because of globalization we began growing, and we only know prosperity now. Before that we never knew prosperity. The entire IIT, after he completed the speech, the professors, the research scholars, the students, the faculty, the observers, they all stood up and clapped. I was to speak next. You know, after usually praising a previous speaker, I said, I have to differ from my previous speaker, not because I want to differ, because I have to differ. Because the facts which he is not aware, I am going to tell you. Then I began speaking. I said that what Mr. Godrej spoke was true 30 years back, not now. In the year 1978, and he also, Adi Godrej quoted the term Hindu growth rate. He was asked in Professor Raj Krishna was asked in 1978. He was an economist. He advised the government of India. He was a socialist thinker. So he was asked, Mr. Raj Krishna, we are following the same socialist policy. Russia is following, Poland is following, Hungary is following, Yugoslavia is following, but they are all growing faster. The same policies we are following. You are an advisor of the government of India. But why is it that we are not following so far, growing so fast? To which I don't know why, whether he said in banter or he wanted to escape that question. He said, क्या करेंगे? ये तो Hindu rate of growth है. The problem was not with socialism, the problem was with the Hindus. This was the very profane, unthought, unresearched, very street-like remark which Professor Raj Krishna made. Hero Robert McNamara, who was the president of the World Bank, picked up this remark. And in at least 10, 12 world conferences, he said an Indian economist has said India can never grow because of its Hindu culture. And so we have to give aid to India, please. He went on begging before the whole world because Indians cannot grow. That is how this Hindu rate